Happy Sunday. It's 10:19 p.m. And I'm just now getting to draw. This is like the first time I've drawn. I don't know how long it's been, which is a problem. I feel like I should know the last time I've drawn. I think I'm actually gonna work in my big sketchbook today because I saw someone sketching in color pencil on a smooth, like hot pressed paper, and I want that texture. I want that texture in my grip. So I think we're gonna go for that today. I've been so incredibly busy. I want to do YouTube and I want to work as an artist. But sometimes doing YouTube, working as an artist, and then having a job as well on top of that, like another job, it gets really, like, not necessarily overwhelming. It's more of like, one or the other tends to survive most often, and one of them tends to get more attention than the other, which is fine. I know that's how life works. It just sucks because all I want to do is focus on this, and unfortunately I have to pay bills. So I know I'm very lucky to have a job that does sustain me and my art, and I'm so lucky to have you guys ordering from my shop and stuff like that. I just want to create more because I've been pumping out pieces and content that's very focused on, here, look at this thing, buy this, but I want to draw. And I haven't just drawn with you in a while. It's been very vlog style content, and I don't think I thrive in that setting. I think I thrive with the camera and the sketchbook and me. So we're going back to my roots. Funny Gummy is taken, and I want to just get started. For some reason, I convinced myself that I haven't used many pages in this book, but honestly, I kind of have, and it's been a very playful sketchbook, and in the non-aesthetically pleasing way. Like, it's kind of ugly, but it has left me a lot of room to test things out and test some ways of using mediums. I've actually cut some paper out of here. Like, I've definitely used this sketchbook to its fullest potential, and it was recommended to me actually by someone in a YouTube comment a while ago, because I specifically have been looking for a decent marker pad for Inktober that would hold up with like alcohol marker ink, and a lot of like sketchbooks don't do that, so it can get really frustrating. So yeah, here I am doing my thumbnail sketches. I specifically made a point to do this because it had been so long since I've drawn, and I was feeling so stiff, and I almost was backing out of drawing this animal. I was feeling really cold and not like warmed up, obviously, because it's been a week since I've drawn. And I just wanted to like make sure this looked good because I was going to be using a lot of materials in it, and sometimes I get very weird about wasting materials if the drawing doesn't look good or look the way that I want it to. Now, I will say I have not worked on this scale, like in this like size, in a while too, because the sketchbook I've been primarily using has been my pocket size art creation sketchbook. Not sponsored, but I do like that one. The paper's a little bit thinner, but it's held up pretty well for some mixed media stuff that I've done. Everything else, it hasn't like shredded or anything, no pilling, but yeah, there's just been a lot of working in very small drawings, and I wanted to do something a little bit bigger to get some more fun detail. I obviously started the one that I'm using. I don't know why that red sketch came out so well, but it did. I don't know why the third one I did was worse. It's usually supposed to get better and better and better, so I just like cut it off there. I'm gonna sketch in that poppy red color again. What is this called? This is actually crimson. We're gonna sketch in crimson, just in honor of the beautiful red cap on the pileated woodpecker. Pileated? I keep mixing them up. The ivory-billed. Oh my gosh, they just have such similar shapes that I like literally keep mixing it up. But the one I'm doing is the ivory-billed. That is what I'm referencing as well. But yeah, I think I'm just going to continue to like draw and then check in at different steps so that we can kind of talk about it a little bit. But yeah, I'm kind of ready to draw. That felt nice to get my wiggles out a little bit, but also not feel like I'm going into this drawing so cold, you know? Here I am sketching. I always start off with the biggest shape I can find, and I know a lot of people think that that's the head, but like in my head, it's that wing that is closest to me. It's that forward-facing wing, especially because it makes up the majority of the drawing, and that big tail is going to also be a main point, but I'm blocking everything out in like semi-detailed shapes, mostly just giving myself guidelines for where color is going to go and what are different parts of the animal. So like I am blocking out where the eye is going to go and where the white parts and the black parts are going to go. Although I am going to do some coloring and not use white or black for this white and black and red bird, just because I want to make the colors more vibrant and a little bit more fun. And not saying that that can't be vibrant and fun, I like to see how far I can go without having to use the actual color that you're seeing. I'm actually a little bit scared because the sketch turned out so good, which I'm gonna blame not on the funny gummy, but on the fact that I actually warmed up a little bit, because I have been so stiff, and I think it's because I haven't been warming up. And I know I say these things to myself all the time. I know, I'm well aware. But for some reason, the second I sit down, I do not practice the new practices like warming up and stuff like that. Like, every time I just push through like usual when I should be stopping and taking a breath. So this felt really good for my brain and also for my drawing. It looks kind of awesome and I'm very excited. I'm gonna go in with a super bright, what the hell is it called? Yellow green. This is from the Ohuhu set that I have. What the fuck was I just talking about? I wanted to do a green underpainting. I really, for a moment, considered pulling out my gouache, but I don't think that 11 p.m. is a good time to start, like, messing with new mediums. Maybe another day, but not right now. So we're going with my tried and true alcohol marker underpainting. This is a marker pad, and it has done me really well in the past, but I'm about to put a lot of ink on this, so that will be an actual test of its wonderful quality. All right. Let's do this now because I'm going to keep talking if I don't stop. It's time for color. I have heard some artists say this, and I completely agree that like underpainting or doing a wash of color or whatever you'd like to call it when it's marker is really helpful just to get the nerves out, the nerves away from you when it comes to starting to color. I know that I used to leave a lot of sketches unfinished because coloring is just so daunting. I've gotten more comfortable with it now though because I've been drawing more often and I've been putting this into practice and things like that. But doing this first wash of color is what kind of like starts my brain going, okay, it's begun. Like, this is part of the process and now we can lock in. Like, it's almost a routine at this point. And I have kind of been liking how the Ohuhus are very, that's hard for me to say, I'm sorry. They're very juicy. So they make it a little bit easier, and they do have that chisel tip. Once again, not sponsored. Some of the colors are a little bit inaccurate, which I always complain about, but this one at least is relatively close when it dries down, I feel. But yeah, I'm definitely a mixed media queen, so I love having a bunch of stuff to like layer on top of each other. And I am going to cut out a good bit of the base coloring because so much of it was unfocused, and you'll see it kind of go in and out of focus during this time lapse. I'm so sorry. You're going to get plenty more of me doing textures and stuff later, but I just like cut it out because it was really bugging my eyes. The moving back and forth, it was kind of making me motion sick. So the majority of the drawing process, like the coloring process for the ivory-billed woodpecker, is just doing layers and layers of soft color until I can finally go in kind of hard with the Prismacolor pencil and really darken up the color, which you'll see in a second. But I started off with this indigo blue color. I did this kind of bright green as well to help deepen the color a little bit and keep it from going grayish. And then I went over with indigo blue again. What's that? It's midnight. It's really coming together. Unfortunately, I forgot that I work tomorrow, so I will have to stop here tonight. Plus, I'm losing sensation in my wrists and fingers. Yeah, I gotta call it a night, but I will be back tomorrow. This was really fun. I wish I could keep drawing right now, but I don't want to be exhausted because it's Memorial Day tomorrow, and I have a feeling it's gonna be incredibly busy at work, so I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back, it's day 2. Same setup, same everything. I'm gonna finish this coloring tonight, but instead of a funny gummy for tonight, it will be the funny flower. Brava. It was really, really busy at work today. Like, this definitely was, I think this is our busiest day we've had ever. I think we broke our, like, record. My tips are gonna be juicy. My tips get added into my, like, card tips get added into my check. Bro, I'm so excited. I'm genuinely so excited because my registration is due for my car, and also rent is due in the same week, which is actually so despicable, but I think with this check I might actually be able to manage and not completely freak out, so that's pretty cool. Also, get a load of my lighter that I made myself. Said good luck babe, and I beaded it myself, and it's refillable. Hooray, it is focused color time, which I'm very excited about. I went on with paint markers. The eyeball was just kind of ugly, and I think it was a little bit like over rotated, so I went up going in with the paint marker and just putting a nice blue color over it. just to brighten it up, but also to fix my mistake, because let's be real, that's what it was. And now I'm just taking this kind of cream color. It's a yellow, but it looks pretty white against the green and the indigo blue, so I'm using it as my white to brighten up the white of the bird, and then you'll see me going in afterwards to kind of clean up the lines, because the brush pen is a little bit blunt, so there's not as many details I can get as cleanly, but I go in and fix them afterwards, so don't you worry. This little thing that I'm doing, the stippling kind of situation, was not an accident, but also I didn't expect it to go as far as I took it, if that makes sense. Because I was just gonna do a few for some added like color and brightness and texture, and then I went crazy and just did the entire bird. But at the same time, I feel like it would not have looked the same, and I would not have liked it as much had I not done all these stupid little tiny dots. I did make them a little bit bigger as I went down to the wings, as the feathers got a little bit larger. I did want to match them to the relative feather sizing in certain areas, but it almost looks like a woodcut, which I did kind of like. I'm very inspired by woodcut stuff and line cut drawings and pieces. I like the kind of like scratchiness and handmade look that those have, because the noise, I think, is what the little lines, the extra lines, are called. Yeah, so obviously, clearly, I'm a mixed media girl. Like, I genuinely do really appreciate a lot of different mediums like that, and I like to try and bring those styles into my hand-drawn stuff, just because I don't have all the patience in the world for line cut and woodcut, but I do have the patience for stippling individual little lines, apparently. Would you call this stippling? I'm gonna call it stippling, so please don't hate me for that. So now I'm just finishing up all the tiny dots, and it does take a second, but in a few seconds you will literally see that I draw some lines towards the tail and the belly of the bird. This is because the feathers that are on the tail are just so long and sleek that they kind of blend into one, but I did want to add some slight differentiation, and I thought that lines were the best way to do that. But especially because some of the feathers got longer and longer as you go. Okay, and so I've added in more details. The majority of it, I think, before maybe moving it to digital, is add some white feather detail with like my paint markers. I did already add in the eye highlight and some of the red highlights with paint marker up top, and I think I like how it's coming out. I feel like the proportions are still good. I did get to edit out the paint marker, thank goodness, because at one point the eye and the beak were super duper wonky. I really enjoyed filming this too. Like, I'm having a good time, and it's not honestly been that long. Like, I pretty much finished it last night. I just had to add some details. I gotta figure out where the nostril is, and then I think we can officially move on. Let's do that now. I'm gonna lift this just because of the glare, but she's pretty cute. I like her. I'm just gonna put this in Procreate, like scan it. I'm gonna scan this on my phone, and then I will go and do any further edits and like doodles and stuff in the background through Procreate, but I charge my iPad, so this is it for now. That's a wrap, basically. I will probably insert some sort of finished drawing in there just so you guys can see. Whoa, what the heck? Some cool streaks on here. But yeah, I just wanted to... I had a lot of fun drawing this. I'm actually very happy with it. I feel like it's been a while since I've sat with a piece and just kind of like had fun while also liking what came out of it. So that's pretty cool. I needed that a little bit. I needed that win. And now I want to draw some other animals probably. But that's honestly it for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me in my garage while I draw and yap at you just a little bit. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed this. I'm very happy with it, and it's nice to enjoy YouTube again. So bye.